All right, everybody, it is January 28th. I'd like to call the Nimishillen Township Board of Trustees meeting to order. If you would stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'd like to welcome everybody out and those that are on Zoom meeting. We appreciate you attending. We'll get right into. I got some information here. I didn't get a schedule here. Okay, Todd Bosley's on Zoom. George Kiko's here. Don Keefe, Jennifer Leone, Rich Peterson, Jamie May, Jeff Shipman, and a few members in the audience. We'd like to get right into it. What's the fire? So go ahead, Rich.
First item is a resolution to appoint John DeStefano as the firefighter EMT candidate to allow for scheduling of his firefighter physical.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion, a second. Voting?
Yes.
George?
Yes.
Yes. Second is a resolution to appoint Clark as a firefighter EMT candidate to allow for scheduling of his firefighter physical.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion, a second. Voting?
Jennifer?
Yes.
George?
Yes.
Third item is actually, there's two reports. It's to approve the November 2025 report and the December 2025 report. We had a total of 88 incidents in November and 130 incidents in the month of December. So we're quite busy in December.
Yeah. Accidents or just call it COVID related? Okay.
Second.
I have a motion, a second. Voting?
Jennifer?
Yes.
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 And Todd, he noted that was November and December fire reports.
Did we get those emailed to us?
Thanks.
And the last thing, just to let you know, we've got a series of 3 ice rescue trainings that we're going to try to do this every year. Last year we didn't get to because we didn't have any ice. So this year, at least we're getting out. We got Ken Bates' parents out there and train out there. So we've got 1 session done. We got 2 more to do.
All right.
Rich, I got a question for you.
Yes.
Since, a while back, we had talked about when we were getting the paychecks. You and I had that discussion about, well, what if somebody's out here, what if? So it got me thinking a little bit. What if you're not here? Who do we get in touch with? Or what if something would happen?
That's why we're switching. Because they'll be able to do it because it'll all be set inside. But right now, you're in trouble.
Yeah. I mean, is there a chain of command that we can have names? Do you have?
We try to have the assistant chief do it. The problem is if you're not doing it every pay, then you're not going to be able to. So we try to have that done. And it's just, that's why we have to switch to. And I just had a meeting this week with them. Finalized. We'll go on line this Saturday, start to do the punch ins. They don't have everything in there other than somebody says to do that. And that's something that somebody could do pretty easily. So that was my whole point. And you have to have a continuity of
What are you looking at for that point person? You looking at appointing a
paycheck should be able to get us through. And then
somebody else. I mean, if something would happen to you physically with the fire department, who's the chief?
The assistant chief is the next ranking official, and then that's Jeff Dash. And then you have a division chief, which is Scott Ryder. So these guys have tasks and assignments already for certain duties. And that's the administrative portion. The payroll portion is the portion that, those guys get paid by run and by hour. And so I'm going to get still salary. So you wouldn't want, somebody would still have to check their hours.
Yeah, well, understandable.
Right? But you could get through it. Once this thing's finalized, paychecks would be able to help somebody say, hey, was this guy really on this run? Was this guy really on there? But you don't have it right now. We should start on Saturday. We'll start entering our punches through this system.
Oh, good. Now, when it comes back to the other that I talked about, is there a list you could give us? Like, okay, you got John Cash and you got, say if something would, God forbid, but you never know, that our go-to person, because the trustees would be kind of like, all right, what do we do now?
We have the employee handbook for the fire department. It has all the positions listed in there, the titles, their roles, responsibilities. I'll just forward to that if you don't have a copy.
Well, I've got that, but I just wonder with names and phone numbers and that type of thing in case it was an emergency. emergency situation that we have to do, something would have to happen.
We have a phone list, I can give you that as
That
well.
would be great, and that way we know who's who and what. That would be good, just in case.
You think that something's gonna happen to
No.
you?
Like I said,
Are you getting on a flight?
No, listen, I've said this for years. This has not been anything new. That's one of the trade-offs of having part-time. You know, you don't pay me benefits, you don't pay me the hospitality insurance, not insurance, you get insurance, but I don't get vacation, all that. The drawback to some of it is you don't have part-time, you know, stuff that you can have those people places. But it's always, I mean, you watch Canton, a couple meetings ago, they hired a there to do the same thing. So they have succession, you know, so that if something happens to Chief Bacon, there's somebody else that can step in the role.
I talked to Trustee of Perry, so, and there's a full-time, so, you know, that might be something down the road that the trustees look at.
No, we're good.
No? Well, you're not gonna be around forever. There's retirement ahead of you.
I made a deal. I'll be there for a while. No, there's a place. There's a time place. I mean, that's, you know, and that's the whole role of trying to. Payroll is the missing link. Trying to make sure that is, because that to me, I mean, you've heard me say it, that's the most important thing that we do for our employees, is payroll and their benefits.
That's why they come every day.
You don't want to make sure, you know, that is transparent. The rest of it, you know, we.
So, in my opinion, the department is probably 2 to 3 weeks ahead of the road department on doing their setup. And so Jeff is trying to train, you guys are, if you don't like it, it's gonna take some
I
time.
mean, we're used to getting our pay stubs.
Right.
You know, I've got it for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
I don't want the pay stubs. I
Right.
don't want to get them.
Right.
Yeah, I think just, can't we pass a resolution that the employees that want the paper copy, get the paper copy, and they don't have to create the paychecks? It's a handful of people. It's not the majority.
I know.
It's trying to be, because, you know, I walk into the road department, they have their pay stubs, paper clipped together, and they go through them at lunchtime. And even if they get it on their phone, they still have to email it to somebody to print them. You understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but they could print them right there in the office, right off of the desktop. Jeff, help me out here. Am I correct?
Well, each person would have to sit at Jeff's desk and log in to their account, open the pay stub, and then print it out. So they're going to have to
We're gonna be able
take
to
time.
print it off right there in the lunchroom off of that new screen and that new
Once
tablet.
we get into lines of the physical model, I want lines are their computer. They'll actually do it if they want to sit there at the table and do it, or they can go in there.
Can I weigh in for just a minute, guys?
Well,
Guys, if I could weigh in for just a minute. Rich, do you want to explain? I think if Rich explained a little bit about what we're going through and how this works, it might be helpful to understand it a little bit better. It was actually something I was going to talk about in my agenda item, but Rich, do you want to talk about that just for a minute?
Well, it's just that this week was the first.
You there?
Yeah, it was the first, good webinar session with the folks for paychecks. And the guy who did the training was very excellent. A lot of the things that we're not getting now, like the hours, vacation hours, comp time, all that stuff, he's fixing that, so that'll be in there. And 3 options to be able to swipe in, 3 options to be able to swipe out, whether it's on your phone or it's through a tablet or through the PC. It's an app, so you can sit down at the PC and click on it, and then they'll be able to bring it up and do whatever they need to do off of there. They don't have, I guess some people don't have email addresses.
Mm-mm.
So you could create a township email address only for that purpose that would give them access to it. But they would be able to print it if they don't want it emailed. Somebody's going to have to go in. The system isn't going to allow, unless you're going to give access to somebody to go in there and manipulate their accounts and print it off.
Then you can't do it, right?
no, what I wanted to know is if they could just do the group email it to the roads, and then Jamie, all he has to do is open it up and print it out and hand it out to the guys.
Well, can't Jamie just log into his system, to his page or to his account and then print it out, and then the other guy does the same? See what I'm saying?
Right, but each person has to do it. They're just struggling to do it.
With the new paycheck system, that's what you're gonna have to do it, I would assume.
We don't have,
because
I
it's
just
all
meant
individual.
they could do it, but it's optional, I would say. I was just trying to be accommodating to the people who don't, it's 4 people, plus you got our part-timers, they're not, they work once in a blue moon.
Right,
You
but
know,
it's,
they could send it to the road email,
yeah,
and I can print it off, and give it to them like we've done it.
right.
In the past, you know.
So, and I think Jeff could be able to do,
It's over done, right? I made that Excel, I sent it to you, right? It's got little formulas in there that they can actually clean up, and we're gonna keep track of our own hours down there as a backup system. I see we have to do that. I went on the paycheck site, and there should be somebody here that can get into everybody's list of employees and click on there and see what's going on. Should be able to, if you want what they want, they can do that.
Yeah.
But they can also go on there themselves, and the paychecks wanted to know why somebody didn't come down and train people down at the road department and take care of that. I said, I don't know.
Well, we're just getting the fire department up to speed, so it takes,
We're climbing. You get that stuff up there, and we'll have our stuff cleaned up.
yeah.
That's where we're at. We got the paperwork ready. We just need the equipment hooked up. And then once we come in there and everybody sees in our little training, I'm talking about that.
Yeah.
See how it's done. We got enough guys down there know what they're doing, but let's keep it as simple as possible.
Right.
Let's not get phones and this and that. It's just easy.
And I think once you get it set up and once you use it and
Yeah, we're close.
for a month, it'll be like second nature to you. It really will. Then you can go in there and print out your report of everything you want. You can go all the way back and pull up the
Till
year.
then, I did request that I get the last 4 days.
Yeah.
That have not had any vacation costs, anything like that on it. I requested to get that. I have not gotten it.
Okay, that was.
And I requested the last 2 pays that we have not got any pay stubs. And she pretty much told me that she could do that, but she's not going to.
Okay. You talk to.
Yeah, you have to get an email address. You guys are going to have to get email addresses. And the second thing is everybody needs to get educated on how Paychex works before you discuss about how you're going to fix it. Because quite honestly, you guys don't even have the information to know how it works, and you're trying to figure out how you're going to fix it.
I mean, the department wasn't given any information. They're just trying to get their pay stubs.
They're kind of like the orphan out there, Todd.
Yeah.
We need to get them up to date.
Right. Everybody has a flag. Hold on. I got to be able to talk. You guys are all, I can't explain anything. Everybody's been given the login right to you the Paychex system with your email address. You register and you can get all that information. What Kelly's saying is she doesn't feel it's our responsibility to have to provide that to you when you can log in and get it. There's another dynamic to it though. You're going to have to be able, like when you guys come in the mornings, you're going to have to log in and that's going to be your time entry. So when you come in, you're going to have a tablet that you can log in your time and then log out your time. And Rich has been working with them. He's building basically a virtual fence. So what's good about this system is it does not allow for any cheating. So you can't have somebody log in for you. You can't act like you were there and you weren't there. I think accountability is what we all want. And that's part of what all of this technology brings. So we'll all have to adjust a little bit, but it definitely will be for the betterment of the community and for the road department too, and the fire department and everybody involved.
More cooperatively with the road department. They just want to see their stuff. In the interim, can't we get that provided?
The last four pages.
They log in with an email address and they get it.
They haven't set that up. Nobody's even shown them.
I mean, I can't help I can't help somebody doesn't have an email address. It's not my fault. I mean, everybody has an email address. You get an email address, you log into your account and you get all the information you want.
Right, but we can create a policy that requires you to give them a pay stub if it's going to be this big of a deal. They just want their pay stub in the interim. You can't go to Paychex right now and pull that information.
They can get it right now. They can get that right now.
We don't want to be
you can log in and get all of your information right now in your own account.
You call Paychex and Spectrum took over an hour they just get somebody from down there. And we need somebody that's here that we can go to and say, what do we do?
Right.
You'll have this guy.
But he still wants his pay stubs.
Mistakes on our
Yeah.
paycheck. And I want something that I can check it.
Right.
And I need it now.
Will the last 4 weeks be on Paychex for these guys?
Yes. As long as we've been with Paychex, you can log in and see everything. You just have to sign up for your account with an email address.
Here's the thing.
And there's some problems with what you guys are talking about. There's problems with you can't just log in and grab everybody's information. You can't do that. And quite honestly, I mean, this is also, if you guys want to be this involved at the meetings, let's be this involved when we're not at the meetings, and let's talk through it and work through it so you can see how it works. It's a great program. We just have to get the kinks worked out, and everybody has to get an email address. You
There's been no
go to
communication.
Gmail or Yahoo or wherever you
Just like
prefer and
everybody-
sign up for one.
You
All right,
you
so-
stopped giving pay stubs and no
It's what?
training on. You stopped giving pay stubs and no explanation and no training on how to receive that.
No, we didn't. We sent out a whole email from Paychecks. That's not true, Jennifer. That's not true at all. And I've called you for 2 days to talk to you about it, and I haven't heard from you.
Because you're always calling me.
So that's not true at all. And
Separate from the board, we're supposed to have these discussions in public with the other board members. And you keep circumventing the board and going individually.
no, that's not true.
Well, then quit calling me, you know?
What's wrong? What's wrong with you? That's not true at all.
I'm just trying to get some pay
guys are
stubs.
silly,
And we
man.
gotta have a big
Yeah,
blow up. Like, we don't even have to have paychecks. We can segregate the road department separately from the paycheck system, and you guys can do it manually if we can't work it out. I'm looking for a compromise.
How far along are you? If I meet with you tomorrow afternoon,
If we get the runs up into there and we get the training, or we can get the training in there, there's enough of us in there, we can go into the site, everybody can see, and download the stuff. But it's like we just didn't get the information, so we're finding it out on our own. That's where we're at. We were on our own.
Exactly.
Finding
My
out where
point.
we're at now. And like I said, we got, Jamie and I have been working on stuff that we can keep our information there, like a backup system. And at the end of the 2 weeks, we put that information in.
try to match it up.
Yes, it's like one invoice to invoice.
Right.
And that's what we're doing. And we're just need this cat stuff stuck up and we're good to go.
They can send it to an email on the phone, why can't they do it?
No.
Right.
No,
Would Kelly be able to print their last four, paste and print or email it to them, their last four pay stubs and their vacation time, their comp time, just so they can review their last 4 weeks?
who are we emailing it to? Because I mean, there are regulations about emailing people's information to other people. So who am I to
The road
email it to?
Roads at Nimishillen Township, the road.
Or I can
department.
pick it up and take it.
Yeah, it'd probably be better. I'll have her print it out. It'd be better for them to pick it up individually. But I think what we're all trying to get away from here is this system is designed that you can get your information 24 hours a day. You just log in and get it. It doesn't have to be an expense for the township to go in and print something off and make it paper and then have somebody pick it up on company time. That's not really
But
what we're
paying
shooting
for
for here.
paychecks
We're shooting.
regardless, so we could spend a couple cents on a piece of paper. I know paper's cheap, so.
Just
It is cheap. It is cheap. I agree with you. But when it's picked up during the day, it's an hourly rate for somebody to come pick it up. If they're in a company vehicle, that's company gas and wear and tear. There's a lot to it.
It's not your place.
I'll pick it up. I'd be happy to.
It is my place.
No,
This
it's
is the payroll is my place.
Policy, period. The board creates the policy. And if we want them to drive over and pick up the paychecks, we can create that policy, not you.
That's true. And
It
that's
is.
true. That's just answered by the voters. Agreed. Totally agree with you.
Hey, Todd, could you ask Kelly to print out for the 4 road crew guys?
Right.
You need yours.
I can get one.
Okay. You asked Kelly just to print out the last 4 pay stubs with their comp time, vacation time. What else?
All their venues.
The stuff that's supposed to be on the pay stub.
Everything they got in the past. Just if you have to print out 4 for each guy or whatever, that's fine. And I'll swing by tomorrow afternoon at 2:30 or 3 o'clock and pick them up, and I'll take it to the guys.
Okay.
And we'll keep working forward on his end to try to get you guys up to speed. Okay, good deal. Thank you. All right, on to the road department. Jamie, resolution number 1.
I'd like the board to approve the January 28th, 2020 road report
So moved.
Second,
I have a motion and a second. Voting?
Jennifer,
yes.
George,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
And then I'd like a resolution to approve the 2021 appropriation with a purchase order number for road salt.
So moved.
Second,
Jennifer,
yes.
George,
Hold on just a minute. Do we need to have an amount in there or no? Like,
We can or can't. It doesn't, we've already agreed to the price per ton.
Okay.
So it's just like the open PO, but you can assign an amount. I think you were talking 20,000, so.
So it says 20,000 on mine.
20,000.
Oh, mine doesn't have one.
Fill my order what I have to pay.
okay, so
Okay.
let's put it, can we put an amount in there?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So if you want to make that resolution, if we amend that resolution with a dollar amount of 20,000. Okay.
It has that on.
If it's there.
On yours, it does?
Yeah.
Mine does it.
I print off the new one. The
Oh.
one that's redone with Todd had something extra.
I just got this one. So it doesn't have it on there. So if it, for the amount of 20,000,
Yes.
so a motion is second. Voting?
Jennifer,
Yes.
George,
Yes.
Tom.
Yes.
All right, on to zoning.
Resolution 1, to approve the January 28, 2021 zoning report.
So moved.
Second,
I have a motion is second. Voting?
Jennifer,
yes.
George,
Yes.
Tom.
Yes.
And 2, to approve the 2021 Stark Soil and Water Conservation District's yearly invoice payment of $1,000 for MS4 EBA services, and that's the address where the check will be sent to John S. Wheaton.
Moved.
Second,
I have a motion is second. Voting?
Jennifer,
yes.
George,
Yes.
Tom.
Yes.
And a resolution to approve the purchase of equipment and services from Alarm One, they are our current security company, not to include the equipment for the compost gate controls and a lock set, which, George, I gave you the invoice for that.
Yeah.
And in the amount of $1,652, this appropriation will cover the data runs, access points, equipment needed for the completion of the 2020 office.
So moved.
Second,
I have a motion is second. Voting?
Jennifer,
yes.
George,
Yes.
John.
Yes.
And then we'd like to approve a 2021 appropriation for $550 with a purchase order number added for zoning office and road department supplies from state. That's actually at the $40 where they used to do this all the time.
Oh, yeah. We just made one big.
Yeah, just go ahead and then we'll appeal to run the whole year out in case we need some emergency.
Perfect.
Okay.
Second,
I have a motion is second. Voting?
Jennifer?
yep.
George?
Yes.
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
All right, fiscal officer Todd, you're up.
Okay, approve annual township highway system mileage certification for 2021 in the amount of 67.998 miles.
So moved.
Second,
Motion is second. Voting?
Jennifer?
yes.
George?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Okay, second, approve assessment for 9033 Columbus Road demolition to be assessed by the county auditor for parcel number 33-08322. Assessment in the amount of $12,730. And this says per fees or plus fees per fiscal, but it doesn't have anything to do with me. Wants to set an additional fee on that as they have in the past.
Explain that a little bit, Todd. I'm a little lost on this one.
Well, and Todd told me today on that too. So next time, we didn't talk about it much this time, but you can assess. So if we had to have the road crew out there for a day watching the traffic, if we have to have the trustees there to monitor something, you can assess that time spent for the township hours to that property owner for that. Just like if you were having, traffic controls out of service, or if you had our road guys do it, you can charge that homeowner for that time. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Now, on this one, we didn't discuss that with the homeowner, so I don't think.
I think our
In my opinion,
contract says half the demolition.
Yeah.
So we'll leave it at
But down the
that.
road, maybe on Nook, maybe we want to do that, does it mean you're on a busy corner, and if we have to have extra expenses, your time to cover your time, to cover your time, to cover his time, we may want to look into that.
Yeah. Then we could have added that onto the 50%. Would have to come out. of this.
Right.
Yeah.
So you could have done, yeah, exactly, so.
We'll do
just
that
something
on
to
the
consider
next
for
demo.
time. Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
something to consider, that's all we're talking about.
Gotcha.
So I have a question. Did the road department spend the whole day there that particular day?
Yes, pretty much. They were there at least
Yeah.
half a day.
Half a day, I say. I was
Yeah.
there with them the whole.
Yeah.
I was too. They were all
And
there.
it was, and that was we did approve a resolution on that.
We did for
Yeah.
traffic
And
and
it was per board.
John?
Yep.
Did I have a motion and a second on that? All right,
second.
No, not yet.
Oh, wait,
go ahead. We'll make the motion.
So moved.
second.
We have a motion and a second. Voting?
Jennifer,
Yes.
George,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
So what did we approve exactly? There are no fees or?
No additional, fees, just the 12,730.
Okay.
we do, every time we like to get something mowed or cleaned up, there's a $250 fee assessed for, you know. as-
Yeah, I think you guys might have trouble with that. I mean, you've assessed everybody else a fee, but on this one, you're not assessing a fee. Have you guys thought about that?
The admin fee on the form that you send to the auditor, because you always assign that admin fee.
Yeah,
You know, because it'll have the fee and it has admin. fee,
I
it
have
has-
not added any fee. That's what,
If you look at
yeah,
the
but
other,
I'll setting policy, you do, remember? So
right, but when, the
you would
last,
have to approve that. That's why I brought it forward.
well, the other, if you look at the other assessments that
You just told me I don't set the policy. That's why I brought it forward.
you let me finish, I'd explain what I'm trying to say. The other assessments that you
Everything, it's breaking up the way you guys are doing it.
My volume down, so there shouldn't
The
be.
other
I
assessment.
can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, I
The
can hear you.
assessment that you sent before, for the asbestos assessment that you sent to the auditor, they were like 400 per property. There
Yeah.
was an admin fee, if
Mhm.
you remember on that form, that was like 250 or 350 because you guys had to go back and correct them because there was a
was-
mistake.
It was 250 approved by the board. That's why I put this on the policy, on the agenda today. Is that, you guys wanted to add the 250 or not?
Yeah, absolutely, because that's the charge for the paperwork the charge for completing.
Okay, then,
Aesthetic processing. We were thinking you were asking about the demo, like the road crews fee.
Well, and that's not on the resolution here on the.
well, that was another consideration and I asked George that today, if you were going to charge for the road crew being there all
No.
day. I mean, I didn't know. It was
I just assumed that every assessment had a quote unquote admin fee because the paperwork that I had reviewed, when I had asked you guys if you did the asbestos assessment on each property, when we did that originally with Emerald, when you gave me the paperwork, it had 400 and then it had a $200 or $300 admin fee, but we assessed them 600. So there was a mistake in addition. Do you remember that? Me, you and
yeah,
Kelly
that
were
was
saying-
yes. Jeff submitted the admin fee for that. That's correct.
Okay. So
He
I
sent
just
over the
assumed
paperwork for that.
that there is an automatic fee on it. So if we have to add the 250 fee, that's fine for the paperwork.
Well, the 250
Okay, then we'll either need a separate resolution for that, or we'll need to redo the resolution for what we just did to say that we need to add a $250 fee to it.
We're getting smarter as we look forward. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so we need to amend the resolution for approve the assessment for 9033 Columbus Road demolition to be assessed by the county auditor for parcel 33-08322 in the amount of $12,980. That's $12,730 plus $250 admin fee. In a second. Did I add it wrong?
You want to second that? Or,
Second, I'm sorry.
I got a motion and a second.
Jim,
Yes.
George,
Yes.
Yes.
Off my computer.
Okay. All right, we're on to number 3 then. The new W-9 policy per the fiscal office. We're having a little bit of trouble running down people to give us a W-9 so that we can issue a 1099 for this year. So just moving forward, and not to be contrary or give anybody a hard time or for anybody to take it personally, because that's not my intention. If we have a service that requires a 1099 at the end of the year, that vendor is going to have to fill out that W-9 prior to me issuing payment to them, because I refuse to chase people anymore. That's my policy, and I'm setting it. So if we have a payment down the road that is a service-related incident or situation, I'm going to have that W-9 filled out, because what we're going through right now is really ridiculous, trying to get people to send it back in. So I just want to let everybody know. Just want to put it on the record.
I agree. It's got to be up front. Actually, when anybody asks you, they usually ask you for the W-9 before they'll even pay you. So that's,
I know.
That's standard operating procedures. So yeah, I get it.
So do you want to solve?
Yeah, I just wanted to put it on the record so nobody was surprised. That way I can say, hey, just reference the January 28th meeting when we talked about that.
Don't see them, and when they're looking for their money, they'll call and say, well, I haven't got my check, and you'll say, I need a W-9. It's really just that simple.
We need to make a resolution.
No, because
No,
that's
it's
accounting.
fiscal policy.
That actually is appropriate best practices. So
Yeah.
exactly.
And what we'll do, just so you guys know, I'll send W-9s to I'll send it to Jeff and to Rich, and I assume Jeff handles the stuff for Jamie. But when you guys are getting something set up that is a service related, you can send that to them just so you have it, or you can have them call our office and we'll send it to them. Either or. What?
Yeah, no, I agree, Todd. We're all in agreement with that.
Yep.
Not a problem.
Okay. All right. And then number 4, resend resolution 21-029 in the amount of $212 for an insurance refund to Annie Thomas. We had that worked out, and that won't be necessary now.
Also, number 4 is not on the agenda. We can scratch that.
We need to resend it. No, so we need to. It was on last agenda.
Second.
I have a motion to second. Voting?
Jennifer,
Yes.
George,
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, that's all I have.
Anything else, Todd?
No, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Any concerns for the citizens? Anybody here in the audience? What about online? Anybody online?
No.
Okay. Down to the trustees.
Okay. You want me to?
You want to executive session?
Yes.
Okay. We got to go ahead and state it there if you want to make that motion.
Then motion to go into executive session for personal matters, resolution, enter into executive session for the special meeting as authorized by Ohio Revised Code 121.22G1. Personal matters to consider appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of public employees.
At 7:38 p.m.
Second.
Motion to second. Voting?
Jennifer,
Yes.
George,
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Okay.
No action, Dave.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Rich, you can probably head out too.